every time we do
Oh,
this.
really? Okay. Maybe there's like 11 now. Go ahead and turn your screen off if you don't want to be famous. But other than that, I will turn off the waiting room. So if people hop on, they join late. This is actually a full swarm session. So we had a max registration list. Our registration list was maxed out. So we'll see if more people show up. I would assume that there are more on the way. Um, if you guys have both been to swarm sessions before, so you know that. Oh, Candace, you
I
haven't?
have not. Mm-mm.
You have
This is my
not.
first.
Okay. Well, I've seen your name somewhere that I thought that you had. But welcome.
Thank
This is
you.
our third swarm session of this series, Beyond the Book with Christie Schrader. Christie is helping us with our author platforms. So today we're going to focus on Substack. If Candace, if you want to access the two, I have foster puppies in my house right now, so that's what that was. If you want to access those first two recordings, they are on our YouTube channel. If you have trouble finding that link, you just let me know.
Thank you.
I will turn off this waiting room, let people continue to come in as they come in late. But other than that, I'm going to keep my microphone on mute because of puppies playing in the background. But if you need anything at all, I am here. And other than that, I'm going to give this hour to Christie Schrader.
On a side note, if you want to bring your puppies on camera, they will not be a distraction.
I'll go get one at a time.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our final session of the summer series. My goal today isn't really to convince you to create more content because I know content creation can be really overwhelming for a lot of people. And unless it's like your thing, the idea of it can be very, very daunting. So I'm not trying to tell you to do more stuff. I just want to try to hone what you are doing a little bit better. Most writers already feel like they're being told that they need to be everywhere all of the time. What I want to show you is how Substack can become an ecosystem where one piece of content does several jobs. So by the end of this, you should have a strategy that helps you grow without making Substack another full-time job, because none of us have time for that. Alrighty. Oh, hi, buddy. Is that taco or queso?
This is Queso, but he has a home, so he's now named Ozzy, and he goes home on Friday.
So is Taco his brother?
Taco's his brother, and Taco still needs a home. So if anybody knows, we don't know what kind of puppy they are.
No one knows.
And then if anybody knows of somebody who wants to take a chance,
They got
he
big
looks just
paws.
like this, but brown is the other one. They're so cute. Okay.
Sorry,
On to your
right, that
presentation.
was distracting. My bad. Okay. So first, Substack isn't just a newsletter. This is the biggest mindset shift I want you to make today. A lot of people still think of Substack as a sort of MailChimp with a social component, but there are now several ways someone can encounter you before they ever hand over their actual email addresses. Someone might see a note. They might read your comments, find you through another writer, watch a live if you do lives. So we're not just thinking about subscribers anymore. We're thinking about the entire journey of the subscriber, from discovery to connection to subscription to loyalty to conversion, and then eventually to advocacy, which is where we want all of our subscribers to go. And also, don't feel like you have to memorize everything on this slide. You will get this entire presentation at the end, or whenever we send out our follow-up, which might be tonight or tomorrow. Alrighty, so the Substack ecosystem. Think of your newsletter as the center of everything. Your long-form posts are where you build depth and trust. Notes help new people discover you. Comments and chat create actual relationships. Recommendations and referrals allow other people to help distribute your work. Paid subscribers gives you the most invested readers somewhere to go next. The most important thing, you do not have to use all of these equally. Your newsletter is your home and everything else is simply another road leading to it. All right. Before we talk tactics of a sustainable Substack, we have to first answer the most basic question, and that's, why would somebody subscribe? So I write about books, life, motherhood, and creativity. That's usually what I write about on my Substack. But that tells people what I like to talk about. It doesn't tell them what they're going to get out of it. Your reader should be able to understand the value of your publication very quickly. So ask yourself, who is this for? What am I consistently giving them? And your promise doesn't have to trap you in a niche. It actually gives your reader a reason to come back. All right, we talked about pillars a bit when it comes to branding, but these are 3 Substack pillars. I like to think about every publication as having 3 jobs: value, connection, and then conversation. Value teaches me something or gives me something useful. Connection makes me care about you as a person. Conversation invites me to participate instead of just passively consuming your content. Most people naturally lean very heavily towards one. If you're in a very educational creator, you may need more personality. If you're an essayist, you may have tons of connection, but very little conversation. The sweet spot is finding your own balance of all 3. And we'll get more into that in a little bit. All right. What should I write this week? This question is, my cat has something. Hold on. Great. Okay. Sorry. This question is extremely exhausting because it means you're starting from 0 every single week. And that's where a lot of stress comes in. Instead, create repeatable series. Think about your favorite magazines, your favorite podcasts, shows, or creators. They all have formats that you recognize, and that is a strategy that they've built into their content. You can do the exact same thing. A recurring series gives your audience something to anticipate and gives you somewhere to start, and also helps you not have this panic of, what am I supposed to write today? Consistency does not mean saying the same thing repeatedly. It means your audience starts understanding what they can expect from you. Hold on. Ray! Don't know what that is, but she can
The
chip
theme
on
of today is animal interruptions.
that. Hey, I'd rather her be playing with this than my daughter taking it and running with it somewhere. Okay. Next. Okay, your content engine. This isn't a hard algorithm rule, 70-20-10. About 70% of your content should reinforce the reason people subscribed in the first place. 20% can let them know the human behind the publication, so talking about yourself, and about 10% for experimentation. This is where you can have some fun and use new ideas and new weird ideas. If everything you publish is based entirely on what has already worked, you'll never discover what could work next. Your experimental 10% can eventually become part of your core 70%. And this is where you can have a lot of freedom and get super creative. You might see something that someone else posts and think, I want to try that. That's where your 10% lives. Am I talking too fast again? I feel like I'm doing a little bit better this time. Okay. Okay, one idea becomes a whole ecosystem. This is where sustainability really starts. Stop thinking that every platform or feature requires a completely new idea. If I spend hours writing a strong newsletter, I'm not finished with that idea when I hit publish. I'm going back through it and asking what else is hiding in there. You can pull out a lesson, pull out a quote, turn an argument into a video. Ask your audience a related question. Always point back to this piece of work. One good idea can give you an entire week or more of content. And the skill isn't constantly creating, it's learning how to extract. And that's how you can stop yourself from burnout. You don't need to create something new every single week or every 2 weeks. One article becomes an entire world of content that you can use. Newsletters and notes. Okay. Notes should not become another blank page staring at you every single morning. Every time you finish a newsletter, mine it for content. Highlight 3 lines someone could screenshot. Find a couple arguments that could stand alone or pull out one question. You've now created 6 notes without coming up with 6 new ideas. Build this into your publishing process rather than relying on inspiration. And if inspiration hits you and you have a random thought, throw it out there. Sometimes those perform the best, actually. But waiting for inspiration is where a lot of writers and really a lot of people get stuck. Oh, she has it again. Great. Okay. Newsletters nurture, notes discover. So these formats have very different jobs. Your newsletter is where someone gets to know you deeply. Your notes are much more about visibility and discovery. So don't write every note like a miniature newsletter. And I think this is where a lot of mistakes happen. When notes get very lengthy, people have a tendency to click off of them. Notes can be messy, immediate, funny, opinionated, and conversational with or without grammatical errors. No one cares if you have a grammatical error within your note. And if someone does and they comment, hey, you made an error, it's a comment, it's boosting the algorithm. Personality works here, interaction matters most. Think less, what wisdom can I publish in this note, and more, what conversation can I start? Okay, you can take a screenshot of this, pull out your phone and take a picture of it, or just wait for the entire PDF to come in your inbox. But this is your note bank. This is for when you have absolutely no idea what to post. You can make an observation, tell a tiny story, share an opinion, ask a specific question, pull something from your newsletter, make a list, show something behind the scenes, recommend someone else. That's a big one. We'll get to that later. You don't need 8 brand new ideas. You need to find a few reliable formats that you're comfortable with for expressing your existing ideas. Ooh. All right. Commenting. So I think this is something that a lot of people forget about, and we talked about last session, and we'll probably talk about it every session we ever have, is engagement. You want engagement, so you have to give engagement. You cannot build community by walking into a room and just yelling your content and then leaving and expecting people to want to follow. Spend 10 minutes every single day actually participating. Respond to people who interact with you, comment thoughtfully on their writer's work, discover people you generally find interesting. Don't just put love this and on every post and then move on. Actually add something to a conversation. A thoughtful comment can be way more effective for discovering than publishing another note. Become recognizable recognizable before you expect people to actually follow you. Okay. Okay, the network effect. Okay, this is one of Substack's biggest advantages over traditional email marketing, and also I think a massive advantage it has over really any other platform. I've noticed people on Substack really want other people to grow as well. It's not a very selfish platform, which I think is really special. Um, you're operating inside of a network of other creators. So find your neighbors, not just people you view as competitors. If you're an author, that ecosystem could include reviewers, editors, publishing professionals, book creators, and other authors. So start building genuine relationships with those people now before you need something from them later. Okay. Recommendations. We mentioned this a little bit earlier. Recommendations work best when they are genuine. Don't immediately DM somebody asking for a recommendation swap. And I know you've probably gotten those messages. I've gotten them as well. First, what you want to do is read their content, comment on their content, share their content with others, build a relationship with them, and then recommend them because you actually think your readers will enjoy them. Collaboration tends to happen naturally once people know who you actually are. So relationship first, growth second. Collaboration trumps self-promotion. One of the easiest ways to grow is to stop making every piece of content about yourself. Interview somebody else, invite someone into a live, create a roundup, swap guest posts, collaborate on articles, run a writing challenge together. Every collaboration introduces 2 communities to each other. This is exactly what Brooke and I have been doing on Substack with this series. I like to think of this as borrowing audiences ethically. You're not stealing someone's attention. You're creating something valuable enough that both audiences benefit. All right. Traditional newsletters are actually very one-directional. I write you something, it goes to your inbox, you read it, and that's when the collaboration ends. Community changes that relationship, and Substack has been phenomenal at allowing these communities to flourish. Eventually, you'll want your readers talking not only about you, but to each other. That's the moment your publication becomes bigger than your personal output. People start returning because they recognize names and feel like they belong somewhere. And I noticed that this happened, I don't know, this was months ago when I had a note kind of blow up on Substack and developed this like really awesome community. I would throw something in the chat or throw a new article in the chat and ask a question. And then I would kind of back off. I would let the subscribers talk to themselves, and that kind of built their own community outside of me. And you really want that. All right, so conversations. Thoughts, quote, thoughts is technically a question, but it's a terrible conversation starter. People freeze when asked this and second guess whether their thought is actually worth giving. Stupid question, no stupid questions about the network slide. Are we finding the 10 to 20 people via their Substacks for a Substack network? Because I know some of these folks outside of Substack. Yes and no. If you want to build your Substack, people have to have a Substack membership or account. So if you can find people outside of Substack, that's great. Like you definitely build a network outside and anywhere you can. But if you want your numbers to grow on Substack, encourage them to join Substack as well. Does that answer your question? Yes, beautiful. Okay. Okay. Where are my thoughts? Oh, yes. You want to give people something specific to answer. Even better, give the response somewhere to go. Tell me yours and I'll share a few of my next week. Creates continuity and like anticipation. You're showing readers that participation actually matters and you want to know what they're thinking. But remember, respond to those who respond to you. Don't ask a question and then leave your people hanging. Chat. Okay. Notes are outward facing, which basically means come discover me. Chat is inward facing, which means come hang out with us. So chat is where your community is formed. Don't duplicate everything across both. Let your chat have something a little bit special. Use chat for lower pressure community conversations, Monday check-ins, Friday wins. Hey, what are you reading this week? How many books have you read this year? What's your Goodreads account? If people are willing to give that. Writing sprints, which is something that Brooke does all the time. Repetition actually really helps here because rituals make communities feel familiar. All right, we're going to talk about free and paid subscriptions. The wrong question is, what content should I hide? I feel like this is when people decide to turn on paid subscriptions, they're thinking, okay, well, what content am I currently sharing that I can put behind a paywall? You don't want to do that. If your entire paid strategy is taking things people previously got for free and putting up a wall, paid will feel like a punishment. Instead, ask, what does somebody get by going deeper with me? What problem gets easier? What transformation becomes possible? That is what you are actually selling. So for example, I just turned on my paid a couple weeks ago. Everything within my in-between series will be free forever. But now I will start offering Beyond the Book series where we go a little bit deeper. And that content, those exercises will be behind the paywall. Also, be patient. If you decide to go paid, it usually takes about 4 to 6 months for you to get your first subscriber. So don't lose momentum. Just keep going. All right, the free paid divide. A really simple way to think about this is free gives me the why and the what, paid gives me more of the how. Free content should still be genuinely good. In fact, your free content is your marketing for your paid content. Paid simply goes further. Templates, frameworks, detailed walkthroughs, access, resources. Don't make free worse to make paid more attractive. Make paid deeper. Also remember, you're not locked into a framework. Your offerings can change, but start by offering something. Should you build up a resource bank before adding paid? You can. Like you can build up a resource bank, yes. What you can also do is let your newsletters build a resource bank over time, which is something that I'm doing. If you want to spend the time having a full resource bank from people first hit paid, they can go and backlog all their stuff. That's a great offering. But if you don't have the time to do that or the capacity to do that, don't let that stop you from creating a bank as you go. Do you keep building content behind the paywall even if you don't have subscribers? Yes, because once people start subscribing, they get access to everything you previously published, which is a great marketing tool as well. So once people actually hit paid subscribers, they can go back to all of your previous stuff and see what you have offered in the past, and then they can download everything. So make sure you have something there for new paid subscribers to have access to. Where am I? Okay. Preview strategy. This is a great way to get people into paid content by giving them a little bit of what they will get if they decide to go into paid. So one mistake is putting the paywall so high on your newsletter that free readers have absolutely no idea what's behind it. Give them enough to experience the value. So give them like if you like for me, my branding exercise, my full all-encompassing branding exercise will go live this week. A couple weeks ago, I teased it by just giving a very little snippet of it. So explain the problem, tell them why it matters, give them something useful, then show them specifically why they want to unlock paid subscribers. Curiosity works much better when people understand exactly what they are curious about. Okay, value ladders. And you're going to create one of these. We have a little workshop at the end of this, and you'll create your own one of these. But not everyone needs to immediately become a paying subscriber right away. Think about levels of investment. Someone discovers you, then subscribes. Eventually, maybe they pay you. Maybe they buy your book. Maybe they recommend it to 5 friends. Growth isn't always finding another stranger. Sometimes the best opportunity to move somebody who already likes you one step deeper. Okay. Ooh, referrals. Also, this was a kind of a fun and interesting presentation to make because there are so many resources within Substack, and Substack doesn't always make it very easy to find. And this is one of them I found while doing research for this presentation. When you're turning on paid subscriptions or any type of subscription, you can have a referral um, system and you can choose 3 referrals, 5 referrals, 10 referrals. You can make your system yourself and give offerings to people. If they refer 5 friends, they get whatever, which I think is a really interesting tool. So your readers can become a part of your marketing. And your referral rewards don't have to mean buying and shipping merch, which is what, companies like to do, but digital rewards are often easier and more valuable. So PDFs, bonus resources, workshops, access. If you're an author, like maybe you want to give out the first 2 chapters of your new book or something like that. Give teaser previews, but ask yourself, what can I give away that costs me very little but feels valuable to my reader? If you have something like that, turn on your referrals. Aha, your welcome experience. Okay. Think about the psychology of the moment somebody subscribes. They just voluntarily said, yes, I want more from you. That's powerful. That's a huge moment of attention. Don't waste it with just a generic thank you email. Introduce yourself, explain what they're going to receive, and immediately point them toward your best work. Make joining your publication feel like walking to a room where someone actually greets you. So if you don't already have a system in place where someone hits subscribe and they send an email out and Substack sends an email out, if you haven't written that email already, Substack sends it out manually and it's just an automated generic email basically saying, welcome to my Substack. If yours is generic, get in there and make it personal. Okay. So your archive becomes overwhelming very quickly, especially if you're someone who writes a lot of articles. A brand new subscriber isn't going to scroll through 63 posts, figuring out what matters. Curate the experience for them. Think of this as your publication's table of contents. Different readers may enter through different interests, so give them pathways. And update it occasionally as your best work changes. So you can pin content to the top of your feed, or when you go to like your website, your Substack website, you can choose which content they see first. So make sure you have a start here post that explains who you are, what you offer, what your goals are, what your dreams are, and why people should stick around. Okay, search. This one gets a little technical. Substack isn't a completely closed ecosystem. Some of your content can continue bringing people in long after you publish it. So think about what your ideal reader is literally typing into Google, because Substack works as a search engine. Your beautiful personal essays can still have beautiful creative titles, but sometimes be incredibly obvious. So, quote, how to market a self-published book without TikTok tells both a human and search engine exactly what they're getting. Write for humans, but occasionally title for Google. So the marketing world calls this SEO, which is search engine optimization. You optimize your search using keywords. So what I do in the marketing world, you can go to Google, you can go to chat, go to Claude, go wherever you like to find information, type in top 30 keywords in whatever your niche is. If you're a fantasy writer, top 30 keywords that readers are searching when searching for a fantasy book. And keep those somewhere handy and try to use those often in your titles. All right, formats. This is something else that I discovered with Substack. There's a lot that can be done within Substack, and they're coming out with more and more offerings on the platform, which is awesome, but a little bit overwhelming. So not every idea needs to be an essay. Sometimes something would work better if people actually heard your voice. And on that note, if you aren't already doing voiceovers for your articles, you should. I tested this out several months ago and found that the articles where I recorded my voice as a voiceover do so much better than the ones where I didn't and AI is used instead. So if you haven't done that yet, I suggest trying it out. But also sometimes people need to watch your screen. Sometimes a conversation is more interesting than a written interview. Don't ask yourself whether you need to become a podcaster or a YouTuber. Ask what's the best format for this specific idea. Substack is inherently a writer's platform, but they offer video recordings, live. Like there are so many different tactics you can use within Substack, and I encourage you to get uncomfortable and try them out. All right. This is a big one. Honestly, this might be the most important permission slip in this entire presentation. You don't need daily notes, weekly lives, constant chat, videos, podcasting, 2 newsletters a week. You do not need to make Substack a full-time job, especially if doing all that makes you hate Substack. If you love doing it, go for it. But if doing that becomes burdensome and makes you want to give up entirely, don't go down that road, I beg of you. Build around your actual life. And this is a theme that we have talked about throughout this entire summer series is the algorithm will try to tell you what you're supposed to be doing. You are the captain of your own ship. Do what is sustainable for you. Not the imaginary life where you have 600 uninterrupted hours a day and you make money off of only Substack. Like that's the dream. That would be great, but that's not where a lot of us are at right now. So moderate strategy that you can maintain for a year will beat an insane strategy you abandon in a few weeks. So this is a little mock schedule recommendation. Do with it what you will. But if you're overwhelmed by everything I've just told you, start here. 1 substantial newsletter a week or every other week, a handful of notes, 10-ish minutes of genuine engagement on most days if you can, 1 creator relationship or collaboration effort each month, whether that's something you actually do with another creator or you just send out messages trying to build that relationship, that counts. And occasionally activate and engage with your community. Then every quarter, look at what's actually happening. Do not add more because you feel like you should. Add more because your data tells you that there's an opportunity. Stop obsessing over subscriber count. I feel kind of like a hypocrite saying this because this is so hard to not do, but so important to try and master. So subscriber count is useful, but it does not tell you the entire story. I want to know where these subscribers are coming from. What are they engaging with? Are they staying? Are they converting? Whether they're telling other people about you. Most importantly, look for patterns. 1 viral post could be luck. 5 posts about the same topic consistently outperforming everything else. That's information you can build a strategy around. All right, your experiment log. Treat your publication like an ongoing experiment. And again, you guys will get all of this, so you can use this as an example, as a template if you want to build something similar. But these trackers are really, really useful. Before trying something, write down what you think is going to happen and then record what actually happens. The difference between those 2 things is often where your best insights actually live. Maybe the essay you thought would generate comments gets shared like crazy instead. Great, that tells you something. Stop trying to assume what your audience wants and let their behavior tell you themselves. And something that I've also learned within the marketing world is it's okay, as long as you're not going against like your morals and your ethics and like what you believe to be right, it's okay to tailor what you're creating to the people who are consuming it. You're not always, and this is why I tell business owners all the time, just because they didn't like a piece of content, well, we're not creating content for you as the business owner. We're creating content for the people consuming it. So it's kind of a tricky world that writers live in because we are so tied to the work that we create. So we want to make sure we love the work that we are putting out there, but also remember that if you love something and it goes out into the world and it doesn't hit quite the way you wanted it to, that doesn't mean there's anything wrong with what you've created. It just means you might need to tailor it a little bit differently. So really pay attention to how people are consuming what you're creating. All right, workshop time, yay. We're going to spend a few minutes on this. I think I have 2 exercises. Yeah. All right. So now we're going to take everything that we talked about and make it yours. Start with your promise. Don't overthink the wording. You can refine it later. Then choose 3 repeatable series you could realistically create again and again. Finally, choose a cadence that fits your actual life. I don't want you writing down what an ideal creator should do. Write down something that you would actually do. So let's take a few minutes on this. And if you have any questions or whatever, throw them in the chat. Log slide. Oh, you're welcome. I'm so glad it was helpful for you. Oh, I guess I should hit play, shouldn't I? Or start. Whatever you want to do. You can brainstorm privately or you can drop it in the chat. I love chats. I love chatting with you. I also want to say while you guys are doing all of this that, well, when it comes to step 1, 2, or 3, but I'm mainly talking about 3, it's okay for your cadence to change slightly. Like I know I talk a lot about don't overdo it in the beginning and then have to drop off later, which I do also stand by, but life also happens. When I first started my Substack, or when I first like started getting subscribers in my Substack, I made a goal for myself to post like 2 newsletters a week, and then I got pregnant, and then I slowed down a lot. I'm still in the stage of my life where I'm slowing down, and it's okay for that to happen. The most important thing is that you just don't stop posting. I'm unclear about when a repeatable series is. So that can be as anytime you want. So for example, one of my series is the in between. So when it comes to notes, I'll do like, for example, in between a steaming hot cup of coffee and the 15th time heating it up. What happened in the middle of that? So basically you find, and this, we talk a little bit about series in the last workshop or the last session, so you can watch all that as well. But basically it's 3 topics or themes that's within your writing. So for me, marketing for authors could be one. Motherhood or being pregnant with a toddler can be another. Another one that I often write about is in between like a massive career and shifting into like slowing down in motherhood. So those are 3 series I write about often. So having three repeatable series in your mind of three things that you love to write about and things that bring value to other people's lives. That's what I mean by that. And it can be every Monday you write Monday motherhood. Every Monday you write about motherhood. Every Tuesday you write about gardening, things like that. And it can be exactly whatever your schedule allows for. You can make that your own. You can write about all three series every single day if you have the capacity to do so. Good for you if you do. I don't have that capacity. But that's what I meon by that. And another question you can ask yourself when you're thinking about series is, what do people come to you for? Well, that's annoying. Hold on. What do people come to you for? Like, what's a question that people often ask you, or what's a piece of advice that you often give others? That can kind of help you distinguish another series that you can talk about. Okay. Next. Okay, so this is the exercise I really want you to spend a little bit more time on, and it doesn't have to be within this session. Like, really think about this throughout your week. But where are people actually discovering you? Once they find you, why would they subscribe? Once they subscribe, why would they stay? Why would someone eventually pay you? And what would make them excited enough to tell someone else? If there is a blank somewhere in that chain, that's probably where your strategy needs more work. And that's probably where you need to give a little bit more thought. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. Thank you, Alex. I'm glad you're enjoying it. This is specifically Substack, but honestly, this can be worked on any other platform as well. Any other platform where you're asking for followers, you can just take out the word subscribe and put followers in instead. So when I ask like, where are people actually discovering you? Um, you, you want to get a little more specific than just Substack. You can say people are discovering me because I comment a ton on notes. Like I comment on other people's work, and that's what tends to get the most or most engagement. Or I want them to find me through notes, or they find me because I message them. Like whatever method of engagement comes most naturally for you is usually where people discover you. All right. How do I get rid of you? Okay. Couple more slides. We're making good time. So your next 30 days. I don't want you to leave today with 40 things added to your to-do list. That's not sustainable, and that is complete opposite of what we're trying to accomplish here. Choose a few newsletter topics. Choose a few notes that you can talk about. It doesn't have to be written out notes. Go to that note bank and pick out some like little topic ideas that come naturally to you and that feel good to you. Choose those. 3 creators you generally want to know. And these creators are people that you will be messaging, commenting on their work, sharing their work, building a relationship with. Choose someone you would potentially want a collaboration with. Choose an experiment, something that you've never tried before, but you see someone else doing on their Substack or on any platform really, and try it. And I especially want you to choose one thing you're going to stop doing because sustainability requires subtraction as well. So figure out something that hasn't been serving you well, hasn't been serving your heart, maybe it's been causing you some anxiety and some stress, and remove that from your strategy. All right. If there's one thing I want you to remember, it's this: you do not need more content. You need the content you're already creating to travel farther. Your newsletter builds depth, notes create discoverability, recommendations expand your reach, comments and chat, don't forget about chat, create community. Paid gives that community a way to support your work. Referrals create momentum, but none of those things replace your voice. That's the thing people ultimately have subscribed to. So don't leave here thinking you need to build some massive content machine. Build a world that people recognize, find valuable, and genuinely want to come back to. And I think that's it. My goodness. Well, that's all I have. But thank you so much for joining us for I guess it's our first summer series of Beyond the Book. That's exciting and scary. This was a scary thing for me, but I had a lot of fun with you guys, and I've learned a lot, and I really hope that this was helpful for you. If you feel like sharing your thoughts, please feel free to shoot me an email. I want to make this series and our ongoing series that me and Black Bear and Brooke do together as helpful for as many people like you as I can. So I'm more than open to hearing what you may want to more know, what you may want more of, where I can do better, uh, or things that you just like. But Brooke, you're up. Thanks, guys.
Candace dropped in the
Oh,
chat. Is there a strategy for using notes? Does it work best for specific types of content? My answer to that is that I feel like notes are kind of my more unfiltered content.
mhm.
Anything that's more authentic and just off the top of my head that I want to share, something shorter, something quirky, something that will get people's attention. That's what I put on my notes. Christy, what about you?
No,
And
100%.
Alex, you were nodding too if you had anything you wanted to add as well.
Queued notes. So like when you schedule notes, that can be very beneficial if you have a very busy day ahead of you, or if you know that you have a certain thing that wants to go out at a certain time, that's great. But the algorithm prefers off the cuff notes. And so it's the same thing for TikTok. Like if you ever went on TikTok and just randomly recorded a video and hit publish without letting it sit in your drafts for a long time, those videos usually do much better too. So when it comes to notes, you want them short. Um, Punchy, to the point. Those are the ones that people can easily read. Think of notes as short form content and articles as long form content. And specific types of content is people like to reshare things. So if you have like an image, like a lot of people will do images with a quote that's relatable. Those are reshared really easily. I actually tested this a couple months ago, and I haven't been doing it for the last couple months to see if things changed. I would take an article and pick a quote that I liked, that I thought sounded good, or that was reshareable, go into Canva, pick a pretty background, put it on there, and then I would put it on notes, and those would get a ton of reshares. And I have found that those reshares do better than restacking quotes from your article. So give that a try. Also, videos, if they're long videos, don't do as well on Substack as they do on other platforms. So you want to make sure your notes is almost like a Twitter feed, honestly. Your notes are short, to the point, and shareable, reshareable.
Does anybody have any other questions? Oh. Okay. Well, this has been a really, really great series. I'm going to turn off the recording for YouTube if we're done with questions. And I guess I need to figure out how I do